Contract affair of getting paid until the day I die. Money coming in, but not one at bat, not one pitch, not one strike. Being deferred is where it's at. Deferred.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Podcast Name Deferred. I am your host, Seven. To my right, the one and only Ando, and beneath me...
Two of only, because I got a twin.
Oh, yeah. And beneath me, because he likes being on bottom, Dan the Dick Warner.
Power bottom.
He is a power bottom. Oh, shit. What's up, guys?
Dan,
Go
go ahead, Dan. I'll let you start.
I wasn't going to start. I thought Toby was going to ask me a question.
Go ahead, Ando.
It's not how I roll.
You know what? I am mildly surprised today. The
How
Mariners
so?
came out with the daytime win. As of late, the
go.
Mariners have not played great daytime baseball, and they played a really good game today against the Twins. Granted, it was the Twins that they played, but you don't get to the major leagues unless you're a really good team, and the Twins are a major league team. So
It helps when you have talent.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that talent actually comes in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the talent actually shows up and, is successful, it's an amazing concept at how the whole trajectory of the team changes.
Great feeling, let me tell you.
Dan, what about you, man? How you been doing?
Pretty well. The Yankees have been doing pretty well. I'm enjoying
Yeah?
that. Yeah. Been playing well.
It's
I think it's time to talk about how the Juan Soto not re-signing Juan Soto was actually good for us. As much as I was in short-term lust. I was in baseball lust with Juan Soto when he was in New York. Just the beautiful at bat and the haunches on that guy. You know what I'm saying? And the Soto shuffle, the whole thing. I liked it, but ultimately we're better off. We're better off without Juan Soto. Well, luckily because we have Ben Rice to replace him. Wears the same number. He's having a better year than Juan Soto. That I don't think we would have seen Ben Rice without Juan Soto leaving. That would have been a thing. Ben Rice doesn't get the opportunity. Is he going to be Juan Soto good? No, probably not. Right? I mean, how many people are ever Juan Soto good? But like Ben Rice is the best left-handed hitter in baseball right now. Maybe top 3 or 4 left-handed hitters in baseball right now. So most statistically, the guy hits line drives everywhere. But yeah, I think the Juan Soto deal was a good deal for us now, which it doesn't seem like it now. But I wanted him back then, but I think I'm over it.
It's an interesting topic because you look at how not just he's doing what he wanted, how the Mets are doing. I think that it probably was the right decision to not push forward with Soto. Because, I mean, you look at when you buy in so much to a certain player, what it can cost you. The reason that Carlos Narvaez wasn't on the Yankees roster and got picked up by the Red Sox was because they were so bought in on Trevino. Look at what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like it's so you kind of, it's almost, there's certain times where it's almost better to rely on the homegrown talent. Like with Boston, there's certain spots where I've realized that yes, it was best to rely on the homegrown talent. But at the same time, when you have the opportunity of certain free agents on the market, you have to at least make an honest attempt most of the time.
Yeah, and it was more than just with Juan Soto. Obviously, it was more than just an honest attempt.
Right, it was.
Time, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it was. I think there's like a $700 million offer, if I remember correctly, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have to get, and you have to give him, and the Mets had to give him like his mom some luxury seats, and like it was like a whole deal. And it's like then in New York, what precedent are you setting for on the Yankee side? Obviously, the Mets don't have principles at all, but like what are you setting
from a Yankees fan?
Like what are you saying? I mean, what are you talking about? Like we are the standard in principles, Ando, of Major League Baseball. Like we don't have a City Connect jersey because we're still in 1934. All right.
Yeah.
So like
your pinstripes in New York are kind of City Connect.
You couldn't have facial hair in New York until last year. So like, and you still, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's, you know, I would look great in pinstripes right now. This stash, that's a Yankee stash right there. Is what that is. Yeah. It's a mid-season Yankee stash.
That's a child Yankers stash is what that is. That's not that's not a New York Yankee stash.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a mustache front. No, but yeah.
No, I will give the Yankees credit. I mean, I think besides maybe the Lakers golden purple, Cowboys obviously white jerseys. I think those are the three most recognizable brands in all of sports. I think people know a Yankees pinstripe jersey when they see it. So you don't fix what isn't broken, because I mean, one of the more recognizable jerseys in baseball.
Almost every team has had some kind of a pinstripe jersey at some point, but everybody still associates it with the Yankees because that's just how iconic it is. And Brandon, what's up? Thank you for dropping in, man. I was on with Brandon tonight on the Sports Nuts podcast. We talked some baseball. They did a good job trying to keep me from going off on our next topic, and those guys are always good to talk to. So definitely give them a follow. All right, so our main topic for the night. I need to talk about the firing of Alex Cora.
Hold on. Before you lead into it, are we talking just Cora, or are we talking the other 4 coaches that they fired with Cora?
We'll kind of allude to that as we work through this.
Okay.
Because I know on Monday I kind of popped off a bit.
Just a little. Just a little.
I've had a couple more days to think about it. And I have come to the conclusion that Craig Breslow has gotten too much Botox and too many fucking spray tans to be able to think competently to run a fucking baseball team. The decisions, just in Breslow's tenure, there are multiple decisions that are questionable. When we talk about Alex Bregman coming in, there was a need to update the defense at third base because Rafi Devers is not even middle of the road defensively. He was bottom third. That's an honest assessment of what Rafi Devers is on third base defensively. But his bat is supreme. The front office neglected to talk to Rafi Devers correctly. And so Rafi Devers threw a fit. Rafi Devers is now a San Francisco Giant. Are they out from that contract? Absolutely. But they also haven't done anything effectively with the money that they've freed up, because they're trying to win every deal and have it come through as the perfect option on analytics. Because Craig Breslow relies so heavily on analytics that it's destroying the fucking team. And for him to be in this position where he's not going to take accountability for the lack of action the Red Sox had in the off-season free agency. He's not going to take accountability for the fact that they kept players that they shouldn't have in guys like Brian Bayo and Greg Weissert, instead of getting better pitching. Oh, they also signed Sonny Gray, who was in the bottom third of starting pitchers last year. And now he's already on the fucking injured list and looked like dog shit, with the exception of, I think, one start when he was pitching. Craig Breslow, this is your fault, bro. Alex Cora is regarded as one of the best managers in the league by his peers, by players that have played for him. And you think you can do fucking better? When I was on Sports Nuts tonight, we talked about the options that Boston is going to have when they look to replace their manager. Because you've got the guy that's in position now in Chad Tracy. He does have a lot of managerial chops. He's younger, but 75% of the guys on the roster played for him when they were in the minor leagues. So he has the ability to control this team in a way that others can't, because he made the impression on them when they were younger. But when you look at the actual options, you've got David Ross, who is a Breslow yes man, has worked with him both on the field and in the front office when they were with the Cubs. Rocco Baldelli, not a horrible manager, highly analytic trained, got screwed over by Minnesota. But really the right choice should be Jason Varitek. I understand he doesn't have head coaching chops yet because he just hasn't had that opportunity. Somebody's got to be the first one. It only makes sense that Boston gives him the chance to manage a team for the first time. So Jason Varitek is the choice that makes most sense for the culture of the organization, but they're not just going to look at that. They're going to look at ones and zeros on a computer and make a decision that doesn't take into account the human element. And when you rely on analytics too much, you remove the human element, and that is what kills these things that people dive into deeply in analytics. Now, when it comes to the other coaches that were fired, bench coach Ramon Vasquez, hitting coach Peter Fatsi, both of them, hitting strategy coach Joe Cronin, all three of them could have gone without firing Alex Cora. All three of them could have gone without firing Alex Cora. They should have fired Andrew Bailey, because the one thing that has been consistent is as veteran pitchers and hitters that have come into Boston, more of them have regressed than have progressed. And we're going to keep Andrew Bailey. Well, we're going to keep Andrew Bailey because Breslow played with him. That's why Andrew Bailey is still has a job. But when we look at the third base coach, Kyle Hudson, and assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, he also all of the hitting and pitching coaches themselves needed to go. And I don't know if that's why Kyle Hudson, third base coach Kyle Hudson, was also one of those individuals that was gone because he had to do with the hitting. Because don't get me wrong, the hitting was bad. I'm not even going to deny that. But to take no accountability for the pitching, Brian Bayo looked like absolute fucking dog shit today. He still cannot locate, but he's still on the roster. Greg Weissert could blow a 15-point lead.
Weissert, he's a former Yankee. He was terrible. He was terrible in New York too.
He's a terrible reliever. I don't know how he's still in the pros. Honestly.
Great mustache though.
But we're gonna blame Alex Cora because he was a defender. One of the things that came out was his opinion of his defensive Trevor Story was one of the reasons that there was a separation between Breslow and Cora. I support Trevor Story. He is really good. His bat hasn't been what it needs to be, but we were just talking about the shitty hitting coaches. So I definitely put some blame on them for that. Trevor Story is still one of the best shortstops in the league. He's at least in the top half. But we're gonna push Cora out because he believes in Trevor Story. There's been stuff that came out that he was not happy with Brian Bayo, but Breslow wouldn't get rid of him. Probably because of something analytics says. Analytics says he should be really good. Well, yeah, he keeps getting touched up every time he steps on the fucking mound. Analytics can say a lot of things. And I'm extremely frustrated because he did a lot with not enough, because he didn't have a lot with Kindbloom. He hasn't been getting much from Breslow. Don't get me wrong. Some of these kids that have come up have been really good, and Mayer and Roman Anthony, but Breslow doesn't understand that that's not always the process, and you can't win in Major League Baseball by trying to not spend money. It doesn't happen. There has to be investment. Does it need to be a $350 million lineup like what the Mets are doing? No, you don't just slap shit together. You can build through your farm system for certain pieces, but you also have to grab these guys that are really wanting to just win, that are sitting on shitty teams, and throw them in there as well. Yes, you're going to have to pay them some money. Great. Look, we're paying you $25 million a year. You're going to be a face of the franchise. So make sure you clean your shit up.
Right.
Duh. That makes sense. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're fine. On the I understand your frustration. On the analytics side of it, it's like, Tony, we had a show at one point that was literally just about the mental side of sports, correct? Like the mental part of it, like what mindset players are in on certain days it makes all the difference. Like those are not numbers on a spreadsheet. Those are human beings playing a sport, correct? That may not be particularly invested in the sport, that may be distracted, that may be completely committed to the sport, regardless of their, you know what I'm saying? Like there has been players in the history of Major League Baseball that have been much better because of their mindset. Because like, look, obviously the Mamba mindset or whatever, like it's the dog. Like a lot of these guys, like Brian Bayo ain't got any dog in him.
No,
and there's not an analytic on the planet that can quantify the fact that Brian Bayo does not have dog in him. And everything else looks great. Like, yeah, he's got a 98 mile an hour fastball. It looks fantastic, right? But if he's not willing to throw that pitch in a situation that he feels confident to throw that pitch because he's a human being playing a sport, then it don't really matter how good his fucking four-seamer is, does it?
Or if he can't locate it.
Or if he can't,
that's his issue. That's his. Yeah, he can't locate anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I understand that what Brian Bayo does is hard. I'm not going to try and say that I can do it better than him. But
Brian Bayo, the general manager of the Red Sox?
No,
just a disclaimer. We're never saying that.
Okay.
The Craig Breslow is the GM. Brian Bayo is a starting pitcher.
Oh,
Bayo is.
It does sound like a front office name, Ando.
Yeah,
right.
That's why
Brian
I said.
Bayo's
I think of Bayo. I think of the actor Scott Baio, and just absolutely despise him.
Spelled a little different.
Right. But Bayo has when it's on, he can locate really well. The problem is he's putting curveballs and sliders letter high over the plate. Those are going to get sent
hit that all day.
High. He's not locating things down and in or down and away the way that he should be. He's not utilizing his breaking pitches to move their eyes across the strike zone. And because he's not locating the way that he should and using those things where they'll go, they'll use the fastball, then they'll go to the breaking pitch, and we're not using this breaking pitch until the next at bat. And in having that mindset, that is as important, if not more important, as a pitcher than the ability to throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the right mindset as a pitcher and the right mechanics to get things where they need to go first before you look at velo, you're doing nothing but harming yourself. And go ahead. Look at Greg
Maddux. I mean, as far as like that guy looks like an accountant. He looks like a chemistry teacher. And that guy was out there like, and he just knew how to mentally how to pitch. He didn't just throw. He like Brian Bayo just throws right now. He needs to learn how to pitch.
Right.
And that's a lot of guys though, dude. Like and like how quickly you can get passed over after 1 year of like, I mean, I look at just as an example to put it with the Brian Bayo conversation, like Clark Schmidt and Luis Heel in New York two really talented pitchers that are literally getting passed over right now because they kind of like were out for like half a year. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it moves so quickly that they like Clark Schmidt didn't not figure it out. Clark Schmidt just wasn't like, in your face good like that. He wasn't just like, I was like, all right, Clark Schmidt, decent average pitcher. And he just got passed over because he didn't have like these Brian Bayo type attributes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the exciting, like 98. I feel like Brian Bayo is getting a pass because of his stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's getting like, they're kind of like, oh, well, what if he ever puts it together? Like the potential is what's carrying Brian Bayo right now. And like, I think it's probably hurting the Red Sox ultimately because they can't let go of like, oh, well, if he would have been good, right? Like if he would have been good, yeah, he's kind of Pedro Martinez ish if he hits the top of his potential, but he's not doing that. You got to move on. There's guys talented everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I look at it kind of like and what's crazy is I almost compare it to the Christian Campbell situation. Boston throws $70 million at Christian Campbell. He gets called up. He's there for opening day. He ends up being rookie of the month in April and then just completely falls off. Down back in AAA by middle of the year.
Yeah.
They can't get him comfortable in the outfield. They can't get him figured out at second. Like he's just not that guy.
Which is coaching too. It seems like lot of the issues with the Boston Red Sox were about their management though. Right? I mean, that's a management thing.
Right. It is, but the problem is the lower level coaches. Your actual, like, your skippers for each of the organizations, like Alex Cora, great. Below that, but like outside of Jason Varitek, below him, not great. You go down to AAA, Chad Tracy, great minor league manager. That's why I'm not bitching about the choice of Chad Tracy to take over the club because he does have the ability to do the job. I think. Is he going to be a top tier coach? I don't know, but he is a good manager. Even down into single and double A, the managers of those organizations do a pretty good job. The problem is the hitting coaches and the pitching coaches behind them that are putting the incorrect emphasis on the wrong mechanic.
And realistically, the Red Sox looked at it and went, we have to get rid of Cora too. If we're going to get rid of all the rest of these guys, we have to it's got to be a clean house. It's got to be complete because then you have an awkward situation where Cora's in there with new guys and all of his underlings just got fired. Right. Like it's almost like you just had like Cora almost got baby with the bathwater a little bit where it's like everybody else went. It's like you almost had to.
Yeah. It's going to leave an awkward situation where
for sure
you have to clean house because that coaching staff isn't going to get along because their ideologies are going to be different.
And to that point, I understand, but another mark against Craig Breslow when they went and talked to the team the morning after, before like when the meetings were starting, before they got like warmed up and shit, it was essentially, we made the decision. You're going to accept it. We pay you to play baseball. Remember what you say to the media can be held against you. And then they left. They didn't give them time to talk about it, ask questions or anything like that. There are multiple players, like including Trevor Story, that are pissed off because of how dirty
it was handled.
Breslow, how it was handled. And this is another mark of Breslow not handling things with players correctly. And you would think he could because he used to be a player.
Yeah.
He is now, instead of remembering where he came from, he is now so far beyond that, so far separated from it, that it is almost an offense for him to tell him, hey, you need to step back into that shoe for a second and look around.
Remember where you came from.
Yeah.
And how you would feel in that scenario and put those gloves on, not the asshole ones that you're currently holding.
Yeah. And that just starts with, they had to blow it up. Probably partly because of that. And like the weird thing is like, he can't fire the players. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's like the fact that he didn't somehow translate that better to them is not good GMing. It's not great GMing. That's he's just not doing well at his job. You know what I'm saying? Like what's it going to take for, and like this point, it sounds like in Boston, which I think I'm assuming in a lot of major league franchises, it's politics up top. It's a lot of it's a lot of politics up top, and like which imagine that. Not Major League Baseball with their famously plantation ownership. Not Major League Baseball famously with their but they're just running it like they're like it's like there's other things involved here that you can't. There shouldn't be. Why is there other things involved in our baseball team? It should be winning.
And no, and you're correct, but like, and this is where, and I think this is just more of a testament to what has happened with Breslow is, as we talked about the big downside to relying on analytics is, it doesn't take into account the human element of the game. Well, Craig Breslow, right. It's like he's completely removed the human element of his job in being a manager and being a GM, and the roster construction is a person-to-person thing as well. Because if you've got a really good player that doesn't like the environment because management isn't doing the things that they need to do, then when that opt-out hits, they're gone and you lose them for nothing.
Yeah. And Tony, this is interesting too. Like, think about like with the analytics thing. Think about when that started with Billy Beane and everything, right? So when that started, Billy Beane was trying to beat teams that had money to pay for players. Okay, so that's how he started analytics, and all those sabermetric things came into existence. It's like he was trying to figure out different ways other than what they'd used for the previous 100 years was watching a player and figuring out if he was good at baseball. Okay. That still needs to be part of the game because there's eye test and it's clear. Like that still needs to be part of the thing. Like you cannot put this completely on paper and go, let's just run the numbers and see what happens. And then we'll just go from there. Like that was literally Billy Beane trying to beat the Yankees and trying to beat the Red Sox because the Red Sox and the Yankees had money to pay players that they already knew were good. So he literally was like trying to like even the playing field, right? So how does it work if the opposite side, like the Red Sox and like the Yankees, right? You can't go to that strategy. Then that's not what he built that strategy for, right? Like, does it help you get better players for like less price? Yeah, it does. It establishes what's important on a baseball diamond, right? Like other than that, it shouldn't be used completely. You should still have eye tests like, oh, that guy's just good. Like we just pay, like he was just trying to get over on like the Yankees and the Red Sox who were just outspending him. Like he didn't have the money to spend on these guys. So he was like, hey, how do I kind of, even the playing field without having the money to pay guys that we know are good? Like, so that's what he was trying to do with the analytics thing. And I think it got kind of like overdone as far as like, that's not everything about the game now. Like that was just Billy Beane being very ingenuitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, and being very creative to try and win without the money. But like, if you have the money, why are you trying to win like a guy without money? Does that make sense? Like you still need to use
you can't swing one way or the other. Like there's got to be a happy medium, especially
for sure.
Like the bigger ball clubs that have the money to spend, I think you have a little more wiggle room and a little more leeway and definitely more room for error. But the smaller clubs, you can't just base it all on analytics.
Right.
Because the analytics don't tell the whole story. Seven said it best. The eye test, and you said it too, Dan, that the eye test has to be a part of the game, right? Or all you're going to do is we don't need to watch any footage. We're just going to punch numbers into a computer, and then that's it. You don't see how people progress or are affected by the pressure of the game. A 0-0 count to start the first inning of a baseball game is different than a 2-1 or a 2-2 in the bottom of the ninth with runners in scoring position. So if all you're going to do is punch numbers into a computer, that's not how the game is played. You still need to have your heart telling you, hey, I trust this guy. The numbers may not say it in the computers, but you got to have that gut feeling that says, hey, I'm going to trust player B more than player A because player A breaks down in this position.
Well, and I mean, and even more to that, and Billy Beane doing it more correctly than what we're seeing out of guys like Breslow is, I mean, even if you go back and you watch in Moneyball, the scene where they're talking about and they're breaking down the players. Well, this guy is this, and this guy, his biggest issue is this. and his biggest benefit is this. Like, it wasn't just about, well, we're projecting that he's going to be hitting 285 by the end of this season. They were still, they had that stuff there.
Yeah.
But they were also looking at the fact that, well, this is what he does well, and this is his biggest flaw.
Yeah. Like the whole thing
the human piece was still there.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I mean, what they say about Hattenberg, that they traded all the first basemen away so that Hattenberg
got Hattenberg
first.
Because
what's his name had that feeling that Hattenberg wanted to be there for his defense.
Yeah, and he's like, you can teach him first base, right? He's like, it's easy. He goes, it's incredibly hard. Yeah. You can teach him first base. He's like, it's easy, right? He's like, no, it's incredibly hard. And
shout out to Philip Seymour Hoffman for his portrayal in that movie. Just.
Oh, fantastic, dude! Yeah, he's great. Also, shout out to Philip Seymour Hoffman as Brant from Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
probably the best ever. But yeah, no,
I still will say
every single role he did was brilliant. Like,
Twister was still my favorite. Twister was still my favorite.
To your point though, Andrew, on there has to be other things involved in the process. Yeah, they literally are talking about a prospect that they have in Moneyball, and they say the guy's like, yeah, he's got an ugly girlfriend though. And they're like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? He's like, ugly girlfriend, not a whole lot of confidence. Like that's the perfect example of like what we're talking about. Like they're breaking it down like he doesn't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like ugly girlfriend.
Yeah. Not a lot of confidence.
Not a lot.
He's like, ball pops off his bat. He's like, ball really jumps off his bat. Like things like that. Like they're just watching and figuring out like, because like you could say that like. Tony, we'll use the Red Sox example. Like you don't want, they're going to put, you guys still have Rob Reschneider, right?
He's,
okay. Doesn't matter.
I think he's on the Mets.
Okay. He hits
Reschneider?
Yeah.
Reschneider.
No, he's a Mariner, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rob Reschneider, he's a Mariner.
So Reschneider hits left-handed pitching really well. And analytically, he would line up to like a bottom of the ninth type situation. So if you have bottom of the ninth, you against a left-handed pitcher, you still want David Ortiz against a left-handed pitcher in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, not Rob Reschneider, who probably lifetime hits a lot higher against left-handed pitching than David Ortiz does. I don't care. I want David Ortiz at the plate. Exactly. And in that situation, no matter what.
Oh, and Michelle brought the trouble with the curve.
Hi, Michelle.
I think this trouble with the curve. I don't think that movie gets enough credit. Clint Eastwood was fantastic in that movie. But I mean, that was another thing is he talked about that personal element in the game that analytics just can't quantify. And Alex Cora related to that. In a very big way. He was very much a player's coach. And there is going to be a line. And I want to get your guys' input on this because I have some predictions for Cora. And one of them is something that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. So I want to clip this because this is going to be a video tomorrow. Obviously, the Phillies called him. I think there are conversations again in the offseason before they decide if they're going to keep Mattingly or not. That one is easy to acknowledge. The New York Mets, also very much an obvious one because they're going to move on from their current coach at some point. I think it'll be closer to the end of the season once everything is clear because Steve Cohen's one of those, you're saying there's still a chance type of guys.
He looks like one of those guys that 30 games out of first, he still thinks he has a shot.
Absolutely. And if, and I'm going to throw this out there just kind of to irritate Dan. If the Yankees were to struggle
I was gonna say
actually lose and actually finally walk away from Aaron Boone,
well,
I could definitely see that happening.
As is any major league manager job, as is any of them, it's just a matter of time. Like nobody's like even, you know what I'm saying? Like even Dave Roberts has a timeline to that job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Dave Roberts has a timeline to the job. Aaron Boone's always on a hot seat because he's a New York Yankees manager. Like they don't give a fuck. You fail enough and it's public enough you won't be the manager anymore. So that
there will be an execution at some point.
For sure. And that'd be super interesting
yeah,
for him to go to New York. That'd be super interesting. That's up there with the biggest Benedict Arnold moves between those two organizations ever. I mean,
that's fair. No, and you would be correct in that.
Would you argue that would be probably not clearly not, but would that be like a Babe Ruth kind of move then, because the Yankees know that he's available? Would they do something like that just to piss off Boston?
Well, it wasn't Ruth's decision really to go to New York.
True.
Yeah,
so
he didn't really have a choice in that one.
Yeah, so he's not really Benedict Arnold then.
Here's the thing. I would more likely believe it possible if George was still alive, because it's exactly the kind of shit that George Steinbrenner would do.
Yeah.
Hal, on the other hand, I don't think has the mental capacity to pull off something that petty. And
he doesn't have the hate in his heart. George had that old school, I was in WW2 fucking hate in his heart, dude. Just
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think George would have done. I think George, if he were alive, George would absolutely, he would just put it in Boone's ear. If you don't win the World Series, you're gone, and walk away and wait for the fire to burn. And just
call set himself on fire.
And wait and just watch the fire burn and wait for Cora. Just, call him. We'll be like, hey, you want to piss a bunch of people off and make a bunch of money?
Yeah.
And that's what would happen. But I think this prediction, I have not heard anybody talking about. This is the one that I want to hold on. I'm making a mark here. Okay. So this is the prediction that I think nobody has talked about yet that is very real and very possible. I think the St. Louis Cardinals are a spot that people should be thinking about for Alex Cora. And the reason why I think that actually kind of falls in line with why Philly was already going to be a prospect, because of Dave Dombrowski. Well, now we look at the Cardinals. Chaim Bloom, their current GM, had a great relationship with Alex Cora when he was in Boston. They are building that roster up. That is a market that will spend when the timing is correct. They don't spend all the time, but if you give them incentive, the owners of the Cardinals will spend. And bringing in one of the best managers in the league and then saying, pack that roster, I could see them get real aggressive real quick. And they've got some young talent. So I think there's a few different things that would be at play in that. Do I think they're a World Series contender next year if they get Alex Cora? No, I think they still have a little bit of build time. I don't think Cora repeats what he did in Boston with the World Series his first season. But I think that's a team that actually builds, because Chaim Bloom isn't just doing what he did in Boston and St. Louis. He actually has the freedom to make investments to win better now, along with still building the system up again. And so I like St. Louis as an option that people haven't talked about yet, for the simple fact that I think it has more potential than people realize. Not to disrespect Oliver Marmol, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, because he actually has a winning record since he took over in 2021. He's gotten to the playoffs a couple of times. So is it likely, since he's under contract until 28 with a club option for 29? Not 100%. But now Chaim Bloom knows that the manager that he had a really good relationship with for like 4 or 5 seasons is on the market.
What about the Yankees?
And he's not going to want to face him.
Bro.
So
Chaim Bloom is the best Jewish name of the year, by the way. Chaim Bloom is the best Jewish. Like, I've never been so sure that a man has done cocaine in the bathroom at a bar mitzvah than if you've seen, like, look at a picture of Chaim Bloom and tell me that guy doesn't fucking roll rails. He's just like, yeah, like he's just, yeah.
Get the chair, let's go. I honestly, like, I know what Chaim Bloom looks like, and you are possibly correct. Like, I can't even refute that, because you just look at him and there's no irrefutable evidence. He's a nice guy. He actually is a really good GM.
I'm sure.
And
He's
I know
a
I
great guy.
bitch about some of his moves, but all of us should be bitching about some of the moves our teams make. Like, don't be a blind idiot.
Very smart guy. Went to Yale.
Oh yeah,
went to Yale. So he might be part. Tony, he might be part of that Yale thing. What's the Yale thing? I'm pretty sure he does a lot of cocaine and is probably a closet homosexual. No, yeah, no, it's no, but yeah, smart guy.
And St. Louis is a baseball town since they don't have the Rams or a football team there.
Yeah,
I think that'd make moves in the Midwest. And the Cardinals, besides maybe the Cubs, I think Cubs, Cardinals, and Royals in that order are your top teams in the Midwest. To put a manager like Alex Cora in that position in St. Louis, and put butts in the seats at Busch Stadium. So
Kansas City would hate to see that happen because he's a good enough manager that would make the I-70 series frustrating for them again.
Yeah,
and I hope he's going to land on his feet. I don't blame him for turning down the job for the next one we're going to talk about mid-season because he wants to just spend some time with his family because he's definitely very family oriented. And I think he's going to do great wherever he goes.
Yeah.
You can find May in St. Louis.
Second.
Just don't go to San Diego.
Just don't go to San Diego.
I'm
wait, that was Nelly, right?
San Diego.
What?
Oh no, I was talking about the South Park. I was talking about the South Park song for San Diego.
Oh, I was talking about what you said.
Nelly.
The second one, a couple of days later, Phillies manager Rob Thompson gets fired. The Phillies have actually had a lot of struggles this year, including they are one of, just like with the Mets, another team that's had a double-digit losing streak, a very underperforming roster, and completely ignoring that in his tenure, he is the first manager to get them to the playoffs 4 straight years. He got the.
I mean, as we just talked about, any of these jobs are it's just a matter of time. Like they're not,
right,
you know what I'm saying? Like nobody manages anybody for 30 years anymore. Like, so like, and that guy's had a lot of success, dude.
There's my notes. He had 4 consecutive playoffs appearances, first Phillies manager to do that. And he got them to the 2022 World Series where they lost to Houston. Like he's a good manager. He has a winning record. And I can understand you realize a change is needed. But I don't know because I don't know that unless they land Alex Cora, David Ross. I mean, are you gonna try and maybe grab Chad Tracy or Rocco Baldelli? Because if Jason Varitek doesn't get the Red Sox job, it's probably going to go to David Ross or Chad Tracy. So if we hope maybe try Chad Tracy, David Ross, like that's not a better option than Rob Thompson.
No,
and
I don't know the idea of David Ross being a manager is kind of enticing because he's been in baseball all of his life, part of that 2016 Cubs World Series team. I mean, he has, I would say, the knowledge and the pedigree for it.
He does. Like, I don't think he would be a bad coach, but
it's too early to tell because obviously the Red Sox believe that there's still an opportunity for them to turn the season. I mean, you're only 32 games into the season, so you're not going to give up on it this early. So they see something in Chad Tracy that, hey, maybe if we bring this guy in, we can salvage at the very least a wild card. So I don't think they have, as an outsider looking in, I would say they're probably looking to see what kind of prospect Tracy can have as a manager and make a long-term decision with that.
Well, I mean, and with Philly, it's the Philly and Boston are going to face the same issue. The talent pool is not what they needed to be for clubs of that caliber, is my argument. Because that also has to factor into manager firings. If you're going to be able to get a better option for your club.
Weren't the Phillies in the playoffs last year and lost to the Dodgers in 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I mean, the Phillies are a good team. And why would you not at this point either Like, you need to commit to trying to win in the playoffs. And if you don't think you can win a World Series, then why are we not backing out completely? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to be, if we don't have the talent to get to a World Series and win one, then go the other direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, and try and rebuild it. Yes. Like, so I feel like there's got to be that.
And you're right to a point, but like Harper's on. They just extended Harper not too long ago. They just extended
not so much with the Phillies, more with the Red Sox. Is what I was talking about.
Sorry. With the Red Sox. Well, I mean, the thing of it is so much of that lineup with the Red Sox is younger guys.
Right, they've already kind of been doing that.
Within Garrett Whitlock is the most tenured Red Sox player on the.
That's crazy.
The lineup right now, and his at 7 years.
Yeah,
like. That's just how young that team is. Now, do you need to get rid of certain guy? Do they need to move some stuff around? Absolutely. But if you like let's say, for example, they go ahead and get rid of Brian Bayo and keep Peyton Tolley up, everybody's favorite stepdad. First of all, I would love to see that.
He's like a fireman.
He does. He looks, he looks like the type of guy that's got a pack of Marlboro Reds just rolled up in his sleeve, but he still has chew in his back pocket, and the multi-tool on his belt might actually have magical powers because it can literally fix anything.
It's in a leather pliers holder.
Yeah, belt. And I would much rather see them when Sonny Gray comes back up, leave Peyton Tolley up and get rid of Brian Bayo. Cut it, you DFA him, whatever you got to do.
Send him back down to the minors if you want. If you still want to give him a chance, send him back down to the minors. And if he's just down there dominating, you know what I'm saying? Like then bring him back up. But yeah.
Well, but the thing is I don't know that they can. Because he's been up in the majors for 3 years. I don't know if they can just send him back to the minors. I think they have.
They have to clear him through waivers, huh?
Like if he clears waivers and then they bring him back in on the minors, that's one thing. But I guarantee you somebody's going to pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody will pick him up. And so that's where you have to. You kind of have to make that decision. So maybe you find somebody that will take him on a trade. Maybe you can get a reliever to replace Greg Weiser, who you definitely need to DFA.
Yeah, he
was not Brian Bayo.
He's almost one of those guys too, where sometimes it looks like he has really good stuff, and I think they see him throw when he's got warm-ups on. You know, he looks great in a pair of sweatpants and an Under Armour shirt, but it doesn't translate to because like that has to be what it is, because there's no other reason why he has a job at this point that he looks good in sweatpants.
His decision making isn't great, and
he's trying to throw past guys and shit.
It's his locating is just it's so consistently inconsistent.
Right in the right. He just puts fastballs right in the honey hole.
Well, and like today against the Blue Jays. Because I was watching the game until he blew it, and it was he was so bad at locating the pitches in the right spot that he was getting touched up. Like he was giving up line drivers to Vladdy Guerrero Jr.
Which, excusable.
Well, yeah, but like normally he's one of those guys that's definitely more strikeout and home run versus, line drives. He hasn't hit a home run yet. And
Vlad Guerrero has no home runs this season.
Wait, hold on. Maybe
you're right. No, he has one. Or sorry, he has two.
One. Okay, he only has two this season in 32 games, right?
Yeah.
So
he's hitting 358 though.
Exactly. Like, and so that's where it's hard, but like Vladdy Guerrero was 2 for 2 to start the game. And he's not locating. The pitches that he's asking for and he's selecting are not great. And part of that is they always have Connor Wong catching with him. And I think that's because Connor Wong is left-handed. So it's better for him on that. But the problem is I don't think Connor Wong is very good at calling games. And what you end up getting is like what happened today, where Brian Bayo gave up 4 runs in 3 2/3 off of 6 hits and 2 walks. Didn't give up a homer. Greg Weissert did that though.
That he
and I guess
those honors for Greg. But those honors for Greg.
Bayo just like he out of the 63 pitches that he threw today, 40 of them were strikes. But when you factor in the fact that those few of those went to hits and stuff like that, like he's just not doing it well. And pitching was supposed to be Boston's strong point this year. They said they'd fix Bayo, and they very clearly haven't. And so maybe, and that's why I go back to the fact that Andrew Bailey should have been fired. And I say that whether or not Cora gets fired, which I still don't support, whether or not Cora gets fired, Andrew Bailey should have been fired along with Peter Fatsi. Because so many pitchers have regressed. Don't get me wrong, Garrett Crochet, most of the time, this season's been a little rough for him so far. Most of the time, Garrett Crochet looks great. But and then Ranger Suarez is obviously back to his old dominant self. But how long is that going to stay with Andrew Bailey's coaching?
And then Sonny Gray hasn't been what you guys wanted him to be.
But here's the problem with Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray was a bad pickup because Sonny Gray is exactly what he was last year.
Middle of the road?
Below average.
I was going to say dead on the road.
Yeah, and he certainly, like, if you have
Cloudy,
him as
Cloudy Gray.
your number 5. Yeah, Cloudy Gray. If you have him as your number 5 and you plan for it to be more of a bullpen day where he's only going to go 3-4
that's
innings,
fine.
Then I'm less worried about him in that kind of a role. But
you guys need him to be like a 3, though, don't you?
He's the second in our rotation.
Okay, so it's okay.
And I would honestly I would rather have it go Crochet, Conley Early, Ranger Suarez, Peyton Tolley, and then if we're gonna keep Sonny Gray, he's the 5th pitcher.
But you guys have had some bad luck with pitchers in general. Like young guys that you brought up, like Whitlock's a good setup guy now, but you guys wanted him to be a starter. He was supposed to be a starter when he first started out.
Be a starter, yeah.
Yeah, like Cutter Crawford was supposed to be a starter, and he went to the bullpen. Like Whitlock's good in the bullpen. I'm glad you guys found a fucking role for him because he was about to just scrub out too. And like you guys just had some bad luck with pitchers, just kind of just not fulfilling their. I mean, which is every team. Like obviously there's a bunch, but like all you got to do is hit on like 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam Schlittler, what the fuck? Like nobody saw that one coming. Nobody saw that one coming. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now.
Well, it's like, and then, if you look at some of the roster changes, like in the Clubhouse on Netflix, they show calling up Cam Boozer when he finally got his shot and he's 30 years old.
Oh, yeah.
To be a relief pitcher, okay? Cam Boozer looked really good with Chicago. Cam Boozer ended up not being with the Red Sox in 25. He was with the White Sox. He was actually one of their best relievers. And they didn't look at him in the offseason. I don't think he's actually up anywhere right now. He might still be on the White Sox for all I know. But I haven't seen his name come up. I'll say that. But we're going to tell me that Greg Weissert's better than him?
You wouldn't.
Cam at least did what you told him to.
Right. And I share your frustration with their front office because obviously those are bad front office moves too, because just in comparison, the Yankees made a play at Ryan Weathers this offseason, and I thought that was a weird move at first, but apparently going back over it, everybody wanted Ryan Weathers, and I can see why. Like the guy's a talented, he's a lefty who throws hard. He's got good stuff. Like I see it. But it's just little things like that they're missing on, it seems like. And Ryan Weathers just adds to, we just have a lot of pitching depth because we got lucky with a couple of guys like Luis Heel was Luis Heel was lucky. And then Clark Schmidt's actually pretty good, and he's not even playing. He's doing whatever. Yeah. And then Cam Schlittler was a huge advance. You guys just haven't hit on any of those. And I think that's most teams that don't hit on those, right? I think the Yankees have just gotten lucky with a couple of these guys, which great. But, yeah, when you don't get lucky with a bunch of them and you just keep the guys that you're expecting to be good, just keep not reaching their potential. It's it can beat you down. You know what I'm saying? It can, and then you get into situations like you're in right now where you don't know what to do. Do you bring in outside talent, or do you try and promote from within? Because that hasn't been working. And yeah, it's kind of a shitty situation.
Ryan Weathers is an interesting one for the Yankees. And I'll say this because I wasn't sure about him. I wasn't really that high on him either, and I know that Boston tried to look at him too. But if you look at it, even with the fact that he's only got a 3.21 ERA this year, his career is still 4.75, because if you look at his stats, the last year it was a 3.99, so just almost 4. He probably got a little credit on that. 3.63 in 2024, 7.62 between Miami and San Diego in 2023, 6.25, 7.62. So that's at least a 6.8, 6.9, 6.5 in, I'm sorry, it was a 6.5. I apologize. And then a 9 and a 5 respectively with San Diego in his first 2 seasons. He's not, if you look at his success rate, people shouldn't want him. But the Yankees, that is where Moneyball type stuff, because you're looking at numbers and numbers say this. Why do you think it can be fixed? Why do you think this can be changed? Where is that side that's showing me? And that's where that's worked, because Ryan Weathers looks marketably better than what he has, at least so far, in previous years.
And give credit to our pitching coach, Matt Blake. The Yankees pitching coach is a fucking dude. He's a stud. He's a whisperer. Right. So he has gotten, they thought that he could get to Ryan Weathers, and they changed a couple of little things in Ryan Weathers' delivery, apparently, that have made a huge difference. And he just comes quicker to the plate. He was in this big, kind of kick back and then go forward thing. And they basically just got him to kind of slide step a little bit. And now he's just it just kind of changed. It just gets him downhill and everything. I don't know what it is about it, but obviously those guys are way better at that shit than I am. But Matt Blake's kind of a whisperer. He does a really good job. So Matt Blake's got him to where he's a serviceable 5th start. Dude, he's not even going to be in our rotation. He might not make our rotation.
Well, and that's what's crazy is there's a lot of teams, Boston included, who could use him as a 5th starter.
For sure. And you might get him.
Yeah. It's honestly I could see it happening, especially with how he looks so far this year. I could see Brez making the phone call and just being like, "Hey guys,
hey you guys,
you guys."
If they go so the Yankees pitching does separate them a little bit from the rest of the AL, because that starting and we don't even have, dude, we're 2011. We don't even have 2 of our our 1 and 3
Radon's still out,
and Garrett Cole, our number our Cy Young winning number 1. If we go Cole, Fried, Schlittler, Rodon, and then it gets into Luis Heel, Clark Schmidt, Ryan Weathers. We have Will Warren. Will Warren could be a 4-starter on the Boston Red Sox. Tony, Will Warren's a good. 3.75 ERA. He's a good starter. He's a decent.
Yeah, he's at least a back end of the rotation guy.
He'll keep you in games for sure. That's all you guys need. That's all a lot of teams need. And we're just luckily pretty wealthy in that department. But
but here's the thing, like that's working for the Yankees right now, and why they're one of the top 5 teams in the league, not just because of the fact that they're winning the American League East, but the Yankees are also, their offense is actually working in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps. I mean, when you look at,
it helps to have 99.
You know, it obviously, yes, it helps to have Aaron Judge and his 12 home runs.
And 22, apparently.
And then obviously Ben Rice, yeah, like you were saying, he's got 10.
Cody Bellinger's had a really good season too.
Belly's always going to have a good season.
Jazz, you know, so the fact that Jazz is hitting 202 isn't making as much of a big deal, because you know that you're going to get, you know, you've got guys like Ben Rice, Jose Caballero, Judge, Giancarlo is even.
Yeah, we just designated him for not designated him, but put him on the 15-day IL, which is his standard. He's never going to play, like, Giancarlo's never going to play a full season again. He'll probably never hit 40 homers in a season again because he won't play enough games. But when Giancarlo plays and we get him right on the field, they wait until this guy is 100% ready to go. And then they let him loose. And he still smokes the ball harder than anybody else does. Hits the ball from his fucking upper body. He doesn't even use his lower body to swing.
Right.
But like he still hits the ball. He's still fearsome against lefties. Like when he's right, he's right. But it's like whatever, you know, he's kind of a wild card for us as far as like we're not ever gonna. I don't ever count on Giancarlo Stanton being like a staple. But like when he is, it's nice because it's like we have an extra, like basically an MVP. Like he plays last year in as many games as he played, dude. His numbers were off the charts. He was on pace for like 170 RBIs or something like that. So when he's right, he still hits. He can't run to first base hardly, but
well, I mean, and the thing about it is with the Yankees is, I mean, right now they're the best team in the American League. That part you can't ignore. So I mean, let's say they're in the World Series. You're either going to be facing at this point probably the Dodgers or the Braves.
I would say one of those three, yeah.
And with the Dodgers, you just have to wait out that starting pitching, and get to that bullpen and cut them up there.
Yeah.
And with the Braves, though, by the time that part of the season gets there, they're going to have more of their guys back. If they're almost coming to a similar situation in New York, and the fact that some of their best pitching is actually still waiting in the wings, getting better, like my boy Spencer Strider. So. Big old tree trunk thighs himself. Like it's
great haunches on that guy.
Yeah, great. But like
some great.
They're doing so well offensively and defensively that they actually have They actually have a bigger run differential than the Yankees right now because they're like plus 69. I'm sorry, plus 69.
Nice.
They have the highest run differential in the league. They've allowed similar the same. They've only allowed the same amount of runs, but they've scored 22 more runs
than the New York Yankees. Yeah, 175 to 153.
And so, with that much offense that's going to come out of that lineup,
yeah.
Now you've got like, and the pitching is still holding it down without the best stuff, kind of like what New York is doing right now. That matchup could be hot.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I don't know.
I mean,
I like a New York versus Atlanta series. I don't know, just remnants of the 97 World Series, 96 World Series,
96.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the Yankees versus the Braves that I like to see.
No, that is it'd be a great matchup. Honestly, obviously as a Yankees fan, I'd rather not face the Dodgers. If we can get anybody but the Dodgers, that'd be great because like they just pummel you with talent. Like for me to even sit here and act like we're just as talented as the Los Angeles Dodgers is ridiculous because
right. That's fair. That's fair.
It's so stupid. And like, Tony, I have two questions for you. Yankees questions real quick. Number one, Jose Caballero, Anthony Volpe's coming back. What do you think about that whole, I have my own personal opinion on it, but what do you think about Volpe coming back? I don't know how much you've watched Volpe.
It's the hard thing about Caballero. He's bat wise, he's good. And I think honestly, because like I think Volpe now, I don't think he's really that type of guy to be able to do something like 260, 280 on a consistent basis, because Volpe's a career like what I think it's 222 hitter. Whereas when you look at Jose Caballero, like he's a younger guy, he's got a much bigger upside. Well, sure, he's only a 230 hitter, but
Volpe's really young.
With Caballero, he's only got a couple of seasons on him. He's a little bit more of an upward momentum, I think, than what
I think
Volpe
he has
does.
more. I think he has more upside for sure, but I don't think either one of these guys are going to be our franchise shortstop. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't.
I mean, I think they're
you can't always have right, and you can't have franchise guys at every position. I understand that, but like this is not a guy that we're like trying to like move forward with. Dude, Jose Caballero has dog in him for sure, and I think
he does.
I think Volpe does too, and like Volpe does too in like a Yankees kind of way, and I think that's why people like he's got it in like a hard work. Oh, I'm just gonna play the game and be there for my teammates.
Keep my head down and grind.
Whereas Caballero is like the eccentric sort of where like you hate to have him as a opponent, but you love him as a teammate. He's just like that annoying, like he's got that dog in him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's which I like too.
Well, so. I mean, Caballero is from Panama. And I mean, so the culture there is a little bit different. The mentality is a little bit different, especially in the game and like in the dugout, the locker room and stuff like that. Like those things are all different. And then I was just looking at, he was drafted by the D-backs, and their farm system is really good. So that's where, I mean, that's kind of where he got his started to come up in. So I'm not trying to knock that, but he didn't start with the Yankees. So he didn't come up under the pinstripes. He came up in a much more relaxed atmosphere. So he's going to have a different approach to the game.
Right.
And I think that could honestly be one of his greatest assets, playing in one of the toughest markets to play in baseball.
Yeah. And it's always a good problem to have when you have two really good players at the same position, where Volpe will come back. Maybe, what is it? Caballero? Is that how you say the last name? Caballero?
Caballero, yeah.
So he struggles like a game or two, switch out Volpe. Like it's always good because I think both guys will always be ready to play. You won't get an off night by either one of them. And then if you do suffer that injury again, Volpe can't stay healthy, Caballero can be right there ready to go. And then vice versa.
So my second question on this, Tony, is before the trade deadline, obviously New York at this point is going to go ahead and, like we do every year, and just try and win a World Series. Okay. Like so I think that's an advantage to be locked into as a franchise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that because we are the Yankees, it locks us into, we're going at it every year. So just imagine that the standard is World Series. There's no in between. We never rebuild, even if we are rebuilding, it's not on the outside. So we're just going to have the same. I think that's an advantage as a franchise to just go, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no indecision. It's just like, nope, every year we try and win every single year. And it's like, is it best in the long run, efficient wise? Probably not, because we spend a lot of money and we, guys don't work and we pass them on and whatever. Right. But like, I think that it's a good strategy to have, only because you don't get stuck like and the Red Sox have that mentality too, or they should.
They really should.
They should, but you can't every year. I understand that. I think it's an advantage to not get stuck in between that, like trying to rebuild stage. You know what I'm saying? So here I get to my question. My question is, what at the trade deadline, who's available for us to just load up? Because I mean, that's what we're going to do. That's what we do every year. That's kind of why I was trying to make that point. Who's available from other teams for us to load up with, as far as like, what we need as far as like maybe a reliever. Like we need maybe but like, I don't really want to talk about relievers, but like, I kind of want to talk about offense, because I love like, who offensively can the Yankees get? Because like I'll take a center fielder. I'll take any outfielder. Shortstop, if there's an available shortstop. I don't know. So like, what are my options at the trade deadline? Do you know, like, who is hot, like who's available as far as like shitty teams that we can pull some guys from and get some, because we have a lot of prospects, honestly, still.
Right.
So we can get to make one big deal.
I'll let you start, Seven.
what I was going to say is the little bit of a surplus that you're going to have in pitching at that point with Garrett, with Garrett Cole and
That's a
Rodon
good
back.
point.
And I think some of those guys like Ryan Weathers, those could be pieces for that point if
Luis
they're
Heel?
not moving beforehand. Luis Hill's another one, yeah. It kind of
Luis
just
Heel.
really depends on what direction they want to go with that, what they think is going to be the best bet. But I also think that some of the guys that are sitting on the bench may be things that you look at. Like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of respect for Ahmed Rosario. I think he can be a really good player, but he's 30 and he's not a starter. Is there something?
He's our lefty specialist, so he hits left-handed pitching exceptionally well. So, yeah,
he has some talent that some teams would look for.
Plays a pretty good third base too.
And so there's that
Ahmed Rosario.
But
who do you think? Yeah.
As far as who they go for, that's I think that's probably the really tricky question, because when you look at teams like
the Mets,
the Rockies, the Mets. I mean,
bro, what if they traded back? What if they traded back for Juan Soto?
That would be hilarious.
How crazy would that shit be? We're not taking on that contract.
If you're looking at an outfielder,
oh, it's so good.
I know that's kind of what you were looking at. If you're looking at an outfielder, a guy that's having a really good year, Trout is a possibility.
Oh my God, that'd be so awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen. But there's a left fielder that plays for the Rockies right now. His name is Mickey Moniak.
Ezekiel. Okay, Moniak. Yep.
No, Ezekiel Tovar's playing like dog shit.
Is he?
Oh yeah,
he's shortstop.
He has regressed a lot. But with Mickey Moniak, he's hitting 310 so far this year. And then there it is. Okay. Last year he hit 270. He had a rough season with the Angels in 24 and only hit 219, but the year before that it was 280. So he's in his prime now, and he's got a good bat. He's already got 8 home runs this season. 24 strikeouts in 24 games. I mean, so that's Aaron Judge numbers. You're okay with that. But he's also got 27 hits in 24 games. So if he's getting a strikeout and a hit a game, nobody fucking cares, because he's still getting a hit a game.
Be a good backup. Hey, do you know who I'm seeing number 1 on all of the trade target lists for the 2026 deadline? Jarren Duran. Duran is number, they want to get rid of Jarren Duran bad, don't they? I'll take Jarren Duran. That's nice.
It's not, and I don't know that it's that Boston wants to get rid of him specifically. I think it's because of the logjam that they have with outfielders. He's kind of the odd man out. But honestly, what I would rather see, as much as I prefer Cedon Rafaela in center, I would rather they move. I would rather Boston gets rid of Marcelo Meyer. Trade Marcelo Meyer for pitching, because then you can move Cedon Rafaela back to second. Put Jared in center. He played center for a year. He can do it. So you keep, and then you leave right. You relieve Roman Anthony in left, and because of the fact that you now have a much quicker option at second base, when you move Marcelo Meyer, you can look at pitching. You can look at, is Caleb Durbin really the right option at third? Can we use Marcelo Meyer in a package to get a better shortstop? Because obviously it's no disrespect to Trevor Story. I do believe that he's a talented athlete, but he's coming up on his opt-out, and Boston needs to have a plan for shortstop. So do you try to use that to fill one of those roles? Because the issue with Mayer is he can be a little inconsistent at the plate, and
he's young.
He also has injury issues. He goes down a lot.
Right.
And
randomly.
that can make things very difficult for a team like the Red Sox that's trying to make a push. So if you move him, and again, I love his talent. I think he's a great kid, but you will get more for Boston. You will get more out of moving Marcelo Mayer and keeping Jarren Duran, because Marcelo Mayer is going to have a longer history. They're going to look at more. They're going to look at him as having more of an upside.
Right.
And so a team that's wanting to move off of a player that will take Marcelo Mayer is looking at him like he's a future kid that they can continue to develop. And
but realistically, they're going to get rid of Jarren Duran.
Realistically, It's probably going to be Jarren Duran. But
how about Yoshida? Yoshida would be an awesome. I love Yoshida with the Yankees because it's like a Hideki Matsui type situation.
Yoshida is another one that I could see moving. And I do think that if they don't move, I think they will either move Duran or Yoshida. I don't think they move both.
For sure. That makes sense.
And that is where I would say the line is I don't think you do move both. So are you going to get a better offer for Yoshida and have Duran be your DH? Or because he's a great hitter anyway, so I don't think that's a bad thing. Or are you going to put, and honestly for Duran, having him as a DH and he just focuses on hitting, he doesn't have to hear the chatter in the outfield like he does now, which has obviously been a difficult thing for him. So honestly, having Jarren Duran as a DH would be a better thing for him. And if you can get more, because Masa is still a competent outfielder. So you can, sure. Let's just do a hypothetical here. We're going to send Masataka Yoshida to the Yankees for Ryan Weathers and some prospects.
We'll give you Clark Schmidt.
Clark Schmidt and Ryan Weathers.
That's a deal I'd make.
Clark Schmidt and Ryan Weathers for Masataka Yoshida. I'm sure there would be probably a little bit of money because I think Moss is on a little bit of a deal. So the Yankees are going to try and get something out of that. I don't blame them. It's business. Right. But I want to look at this. I want to see
another big name that I have keep coming up is Sandy Alcantara.
He was
always available.
He was actually in the rumors a lot last year, and he didn't get moved, and I thought that he would. So we're going to send to the Yankees, and I'm doing a. Okay, so now the Yankees
trade?
are going to send. Yeah, I'm on a trade calculator site right now. I want to see where this goes. So Clark Schmidt and Ryan Weathers. Where did it go? Is he up here? Go past him? No. There it is. Okay. So why did you get to pick my card? The Red Sox are going to have to take some of that money because there is because you've got Masataka Yoshida has he's still got like $65 million left on his deal.
Yeah.
Whereas you've probably got a total of 14 to 15 million total in deals between Clark Schmidt and Ryan Weathers. So there's going to be more to it than that. And maybe that's where you see something like
this is cool. I'm doing that. I'm doing that.
Like, maybe that's where you see somebody like Caballero move or something like that. Like there's something in there because like the money is going to be a big thing. But I could see something like that because the Yankees aren't going to shy away from the contract, but they're going to want to make sure that if they're taking that, what do they have to give up for it in the meantime? So, Would Boston like to have extra money out of a deal that they don't have to do anything with? Clearly, they've already done it with Rafi Devers. But I personally believe that you get more out of Massa, trading Massa, than you do out of Jaron Durant. But
yeah,
okay. Now, the other thing I want to talk about tonight, we've spent an hour and a half talking about the Red Sox, which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind, but that's not fair to anybody. The Seattle Mariners are a fucking shell of themselves from what we saw last year. And I tasked Ando with diving deeper into what is going on. And so, Dan, you and I get to grill him for however long we decide this isn't fun, until we decide it isn't fun anymore. But first, to start the conversation, Ando, give me a synopsis. What are the important things that you see as to why the Seattle Mariners are struggling so far this year?
From the majority of their losses, I think hitting has been a big part of it. And we've talked about it in previous segments of P&D, where I think all of us agree in some way, shape, or form the World Baseball Classic has kind of turned those dependable people and hitters into kind of a shell. Like, they're catching up. Like, they didn't get the proper training and the proper time to cool up their bats because they were playing meaningful baseball before the season even started. I did take a look at the Mariners. The Mariners, with their win today against the Twins. Sorry, Michelle, I know you're a Twins fan if you're still watching the show. Kills me to say this, but the Mariners win today over the Twins, put the Mariners back at 500. It is the first time since March 31st when they were 3-3 after their 5-0 loss to the Yankees. So fuck you, Dan, and fuck the Yankees. Since then, it took them an entire month to get back. I will say, pitching-wise, I was going to say I think it's a problem, but it hasn't been as big an issue, I think. I am very concerned about Luis Castillo. Out of his 6 starts that he's had, he's only had 3 quality starts pulled off at ESPN. And of those starts, he's 0-2. Now, of his last 3 outings, which was the 11-4 loss that he had against the Twins on Monday, he had the 5-2 loss on the 16th against the Padres, and I want to say the 5-2 loss, one of the 5-2 losses that they had last week against the Athletics. He didn't make it past the 5th inning, or if he did go into the 5th, he made it just barely through the 5th. He is usually the one starter besides Gilbert that I think Mariner fans are expecting to go past the 6th, maybe into the 7th. That is a theme that I've seen with the Mariners this year, is they are very, very rarely making it through 6. You can get through 5 perfectly fine, but by that 5th inning, they're hitting their 90, 95 pitch count. So the longevity of those the longevity of the pitchers are shortening out, which means you're relying on that bullpen. Now, I do believe the Mariners still have one of the better bullpens in baseball, but when your bullpen last year was going 2 1/3, maybe 3 innings, now you have that extra inning that you have to pitch out of, which is messing up the rest of the rotation, especially if that first pitcher gets lit up. Tweak that and get maybe a little better run support, and I think the Mariners will be fine. Look, the Mariners have won 6 of their last 7. Then if you look back at their last 10, they're 7-3. They had a really bad series against the Padres. They had a minorly bad series against the Athletics. And I only say that was a bad series because it was a home series. And that's the team now that you're down 2 games or down a game in the AL West. But there's still plenty of baseball. We said it ourselves. Typically Memorial Day is when we start focusing. Mariners, they had at least 7, 8 players that went to the World Baseball Classic. So they're still trying to get it together. As a Mariners fan, am I worried? Yeah. But if I'm on a concern level of 1 through 10, 10 being super concerned and 1 being, it's not a big deal. Say it's about a 4. Let's see how we're looking at the end of May, beginning of June. And we'll see how we're going. I am concerned the first 2 series that they got, which are 2 homestands between May 1st and May 6th. They got a 3-game series against the Royals, who are looking against the Athletics. And then you take on the best team in baseball and the Braves in a 3-game series. We'll kind of see how that goes. But then you got the White Sox, you got the Astros, you got a rubber match against the Padres. I'm not concerned, but let's see how May plays out, and maybe I'll get a better feel. But pitching, I'm happy with. I'm really impressed with how Hancock is pitching this year. And then the rest of the rotation, like I said, Castillo, get it together. I think one quality start, get a win. I think that'll loosen him up a little bit.
Has there been any discussion as far as the issues with hitting? Like, do they need to change the hitting coach? Has there been any indication as to what the issue is with why they're struggling at the plate?
I think it's more the games that I've seen lately, definitely the last two games, the 7-1 win against the Twins and the 5-3 win that they had against the Twins tonight. I think the contact is there, personally speaking. It's just when you get the runners in scoring position, they're not taking advantage of it, whether it's the pitchers that they're going up against doing a better job at changing the flow of their pitches or making them think, hey, you got a changeup coming. Really, it's a fastball and they don't get the contact that they're looking for. I think that plays a part in it. A lot of the games that the Mariners lost early in the season were games where they were getting blown out. The Yankees series is a good one, 5-0 loss and 5-3 loss. The series against the Angels, they lost fairly close games. Texas racked them up. The Padres racked them up. It's just when the Mariners, I think, are in closer games because they have that run support, I think they play better baseball. And I think, again, it comes back to the pitching. But I don't think hitting is a problem. It's taking advantage of when you got runners in scoring positions, you need the bats to make contact.
Go ahead, Dan.
I just don't think that the Mariners, I mean, they have a lot of good offensive players.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot, I guess.
Well, I mean
obviously,
I think their first four in their rotation over the last couple games has been Raleigh at 2. Crawford has been leading off, which I think does really well. Raleigh go ahead.
They go Crawford, Raleigh, Julio,
Rodriguez,
Arozarena. Naylor Arozarena, I think is what they usually go. Yeah. So, they're just none of these guys are. I mean, Cal Raleigh is the number one. Cal Raleigh is the number one guy you got to point at this point. I mean, he's got 7 home runs, but hitting 192. He's got a 275 on base percentage. Like, he doesn't get on base for the Moneyball reference. Like, he doesn't get on base, so he's not getting on base. That'll change. But even if that changes to he has sparkling numbers, I don't know how much that changes your guys' fortune, I guess.
Yeah.
Randy Arozarena is having a decent year.
Yeah.
Keep
in mind that I like Cole Young. Cole Young really comes in clutch. He's not a power hitter, which I'm okay with. Between Raleigh, Rodriguez, and Naylor, I think our home run hitters, if you spread them out, maybe put Raleigh at 2. Let's go Crawford at 1, Raleigh at 2, maybe put Rosarena at 3, then Rodriguez at 4, and put Naylor
I'd like to see
5 or 6.
I'd like to see Julio Rodriguez lead off the game. I would like to see Julio Rodriguez lead off.
J-Rod should be your number 1.
Okay.
And then you go Cal Raleigh.
Our leadoff typically is Brendan Donovan, the guy that we picked up from St. Louis, but he's on the DL at the moment.
Who I like too. I like Brendan Donovan a lot.
Yeah, so as soon as they get Donovan back, Donovan will lead off. And I think with him leading off, maybe rotate Raleigh and Rodriguez. So you have Raleigh batting 3, and then you can have Rodriguez, be it his power or his contact. So you have the option to bring Donovan in. But yeah, Donovan's only played 18 games this season and has 17 hits, is leading the team with the 304 batting average. So once we get him back, I think that'll kind of level things out.
Yeah, and that's
Damien's
that on a
Damien.
On a
Damien. Wrong sport, Damien. Hasselback was quarterback, not pitcher.
On paper,
he knows.
They look pretty good. But right now it's just not translating at all to, like, Julio Rodriguez plays a great center field. He's just not fulfilling what they thought this guy was going to be, perennial MVP candidate. And I understand he's been injured a little bit, but he's obviously hasn't been. His rookie year was his best
incredible.
year.
Yeah.
So,
but I think again, you kind of have to remember that after people see you batting and playing the way that he did at the time, he was the only real star that they had. Like Rosarino wasn't what he was. Obviously, nobody knew that Cal Raleigh was going to go off for 60 home runs, 2 years after he came out. And then Naylor with the trade that he had from Arizona last year. So your only real focus in Seattle, like hitting wise, was Rodriguez. So I'll take that as kind of the reason why Rodriguez has fallen off, if you want to call it that. But I think it's just a matter of Rodriguez getting that confidence back with Raleigh hitting the way that he is. Well, at this point, Raleigh not. Raleigh's got to figure it out. But I think Naylor being where he is in the lineup, once they get Donovan back, it's a matter of just kind of getting out of your head. And I think Rodriguez is one of those players that as the season goes through, I'd be happy if he bats a little higher, maybe 270. I think 300 is a lot to ask for, but 270, anywhere between 275 and 300, I'd be happy with.
You need to get Naylor higher, and that's one of the hard things. Is he by the end of the season he'll be hitting with a much better average. He's a slow starting guy.
Yeah.
Has there been any indication as to what the issue is with Castillo? Is he tipping his pitches or his mechanics off? Like, did he try to change something and it's not working? Like, what's the issue?
I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't tell. Like all the other pitchers, their location seems fine. What I'm seeing with Castillo is he gets rocked early in his appearances, man. There was a game. It was the crap. Hold on, I gotta pull up the schedule here again.
I think what it comes down to with a lot with the Mariners is that this is a very hard sport.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a very hard sport, and it's just sometimes it just doesn't go. You'd love every year to be like, oh, we're all hitting 325 with 11 home runs and blah blah, right? But it's not like that. Like, and I mean, it's not.
It's Seattle. Like, how many people? Seattle's the only team that hasn't made the World Series. So when Seattle makes noise, I mean, it's kind of we got to really look at this team now. And Seattle kind of. They were two innings away from making the World Series before giving up the bomb to George Springer in Toronto in Game 7. Imagine if Seattle makes the World Series. I don't think they beat the Dodgers, but wishful thinking that we ever make the damn World Series. But I think over the last 4 years, there's been a lot of money put into the team. And I think the fans are finally invested, which is such a beautiful thing for Seattle. You take a look at the other professional teams that they had. The Kraken are finally growing up into an NHL team. The Kraken. Seattle Storm is always a great team, so they're always playoff contenders. The Seahawks obviously just won the Super Bowl. So I think for Seattle, who has always been the perennial, this is the team we never have to worry about. This is a team that isn't going to make any noise. For them to be where they were last year, I think teams are finally taking them seriously, so they're doing their homework and scouting them the way that they should have.
And sometimes these things grow, and it's really hard to stay consistently good in this league. Like people, there's especially like Red Sox fans, Yankees fans, Dodgers fans, like they get so spoiled by the fact that their teams have consistency, whereas for other organizations, it's not as easy to just stay consistently good and have that high standard every year. Because you never know. And really quick, Damian, you're a White Sox fan. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, but for me, like it's, and to credit to the Mariners for, they're starting to right the ship. They're starting to move things on.
Yeah. And
when you have that many players that were plagued by World Baseball Classic bogged down,
syndrome,
like it's gonna. That hangover is going to have an impact on everything. Yeah. So I'm definitely not in a position where I think that the Mariners are going to be out of it. But like when you look at like that, and even that division right now.
Yeah, it's a horrible division. Like your Athletics the Mariners are in second place and they're 16-16 at 500. And the fact that the Astros are in last place, I knew Houston wasn't going to be the team that they had been over the last 5 years. But for them to struggle the way that they have, like, how many teams do we have at or above 500 right now in the league? I think there's like maybe eight or nine teams that are really, really vying for top records. So
7. There's 7 teams that are above 500 in the American League.
yeah.
And then
Now, is that including the Mariners at 500 or?
Yeah, that's including the Mariners at 500. And then 1, 2, 3.
There's only like 6 teams
4,
in the NL.
5, 6. No, there's more than that. 7, 8, 9. 9 in the National League.
Okay.
And those are all actually above 500, not 500 or above.
Yeah.
So, I mean, more than half the league is at.
Oh, that's
or
right.
above
Yeah,
500.
I forgot because the entire NL Central is above 500.
Is above 500, right? So over half the league is above 500 right now, which is good.
Yeah.
But
It sure doesn't seem like it though.
Below. It doesn't feel like it, but a lot of these teams that are below, they are below.
Yeah.
Like Houston is 11-19 to start the year, and you normally don't see that much of an issue with Houston, but you also don't normally see the Athletics playing it one game above 500 and leading the division.
Yeah. However, if they blow that lead that they got against Kansas City, which it doesn't look like they will because it's bottom 7 in that game, the Athletics will have that game lead, which is only going to make that series that much more important, which is why I'm mad that we lost the series against the Athletics.
So mathematically, isn't it half the league has to be over 500?
Well, yes and no, because if certain teams have lost a lot.
Yeah, because you beat the shit out of a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm on a worry scale. I'm at like a 4 out of 10 for panicking. Again, Mariners are only 32 games into the season. We have 130 more to go. Can that all change in the month of May if we go 6-24? Hell yeah, I'll start panicking. But I think the way that Dan Wilson has his team kind of brought up, I don't think the team will ever kind of veer one way or the other. I think if they get in a hot streak, they're kind of be like, hey guys, remember this can change on a dime. Stay focused, get ready to play. And then when they're in that down streak, I think Dan Wilson is, hey guys, again, this is baseball. All we got to do is change a couple things, tweak a little things, hit a couple baseballs, hit our pitches in the right location, and we're good to go. So
it's. I was talking with somebody when I was on the Sportsnet podcast earlier tonight. They asked me about the fact that there's 10 or 11 players from the 2024 MLB draft class that are already in the majors. And it was, and I was thinking about that. It's you think about football. When you go from high school to college, and we've talked about this in the sports report with football and basketball, you go to high school to college to the pros, there is a jump in the physicality and the team, and the strategies change and everything like that. Baseball, once you get to the point where you're playing player pitch, the only thing that happens is the difficulty gets higher. It's still the same shit. You just have to do it. You just have to do it better. The higher the level goes.
Yeah.
And so you've got guys like Connor Griffin that are coming up ready to go. You've got guys that after they get drafted. Paul Skeens was in the minor leagues for less than a year before he was pitching in the majors. Nick Kurtz was in the minor leagues for maybe a year, and because he was in that 2024 draft class, and he came up last year and he got Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Less than a year, and he's in the majors. You can do that with baseball, I don't even with the other professional sports, you couldn't do that. And I would even say even hockey, because even hockey, you get drafted at 19. You try to put that 19-year-old kid that doesn't have any muscle in his bones in the on the ice,
and he's going to get smashed.
There's been a couple of them. There's been a couple of them that had Connor David, I think. Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid, yeah. Sidney Crosby was another one that came out and ready to play.
But those guys are also not defenders and shit.
Yeah,
those guys aren't Yeah. So in the NFL, I know it's definitely because of physicality, right? They're going to make you at least do the 3 years because that's a whole new physical sport, and that's just the nature of football, and that's why that's like that. But in the NBA you can do it too. Obviously, I mean some people can, but not everybody. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that need physically to get better for the NBA too. So.
Perfect example of who can versus who can't in the NBA. Who can come out and be ready to play? LeBron James. Who cannot? LeBronny James.
Who cannot? Everybody else.
Everybody else.
Definitely not Kwame Brown. Good choice, Michael. Good choice.
That's what I'm talking about. Like it's that hard even in the NBA to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Major League Baseball, it's becoming more and more and more common.
Yeah.
And because and what I said when we were talking about it was so many of these younger kids, they were basically bred to be a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
They're touring the country as a middle schooler because they can do schooling online and playing travel ball and going to international tournaments as a kid to play baseball because that way they can get seen by one more scout and maybe get drafted at a younger age.
Yeah.
Like they're bred for it. And so, they're going to be ready because it's the same shit. You're just doing it better at a higher level. And if you're already doing it at a higher level, and that's why you're able to be drafted at 19 years old, then the team has no reason to wait.
It's perfect.
Just get it going. Like
I know that there's a prospect. I know that there's a pitcher prospect that the Mariners have by the last name of Anderson. He's looking really good right now. I think he's pitching for Everett. If not, he's pitching for the Tacoma Rainiers. I think they're saying that he should be ready to go. But again, the Mariners pitching, I mean, the only person really that you could change out of the rotation at the moment is Castillo.
It's well, I mean, and if an injury doesn't happen, so we'll say if an injury doesn't happen, worst case scenario, you're giving him more time to develop, and he's just decimating AAA players. But inevitably, there's going to be an injury somewhere, somehow. There's going to be an injury.
Yeah,
and so do you? And then so that's when you get to bring him up and just like, all right, kid, tear it loose. You've got the advantage of they don't know what you're going to do.
The Mariners have the number 6 prospect in all of baseball. Colt Emerson.
Oh yeah.
So,
and that's what he was talking about. And like Emerson, like I'm interested. I think Emerson comes up this year. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's ready. So I don't think he's going to be perfect out of the gate. Nobody is.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're getting anything. I don't think you're going to get much more out of him in AAA that he can actually grow from before you have to turn him loose in the majors and let him learn and fail there.
Yeah.
Because and honestly, like when you're a position player, like it's honestly more about can you hit a 99 mile an hour fastball consistently? Because if you can, then the actual position play part of your job, that doesn't really change very much. You got to make, and your arms got to be good, especially if like you're an outfielder, you're throwing from short to first or third to first or whatever. You've got to have a cannon for that. But what you're doing as far as your defensive responsibilities are concerned doesn't really change as you get older.
Yeah.
What does
change? Colt Emerson is also dealing with a right foot injury. He handled on the 5th of April in one of his AAA appearances, but it sounds like he should be back in the rotation next couple days. So
okay. Well, there you go. All right. Good show. Went a little longer than I anticipated, but that happens.
This is what happens when all we do is talk Red Sox and Yankees. Like you guys lose your shit.
It happens. But any final thoughts before we head out tonight, Ando?
Well, I would be doing a disservice to our friend Craig if I did not lead the chant off by saying FRM, Buck Rob Manfred. Good baseball today for people who are looking. Key matchups: Cubs beat the Padres today 5-4. Yankees got beat and blanked by the Texas Rangers 3-0. Usually I'd be upset, but it's the Yankees getting beat, so I'll let Texas have one. Toronto did beat the Red Sox today 8-1. The Marlins had a very nice double play in their win against the Dodgers. They won 3-2.
They actually won against the Dodgers yesterday too.
Yeah, so
won that series.
Be on the lookout for I think the Marlins are going to be a surprise team. Otherwise, the Rockies are trending in the right direction. They beat the NL leading Cincinnati Reds 13-2. Who would have thought this deep into the season, the Rockies only 3 games out of 500? Like a couple years ago, we were talking about the Rockies winning 9 games and 60 tries. But no, we got the Rockies beating the pulp out of the Reds. And then, of course, Will's old team, the New York Mets, completely obliterated by the Washington Nationals today, 14-2. Of course, that is Will's old team. Rest in peace, Mets. I think the Mets will be the next team to fire their skipper. I think he'll be the next to go.
I was just about to say the same thing. I think he's the next one to go.
With a payroll like that, I mean, you got no excuses. Like, if there's any team that needs to fire their entire coaching staff, it's the New York Mets.
That wouldn't have surprised me. Like no. that I would have been far less shocked about that than what the Red Sox did.
Yeah.
For those of you, and you guys don't know this yet, I did not post anything about it today. I officially have an MLB Morning Minute YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search MLB Morning Minute, you'll find today's video, and I will be posting the daily updates there. So if you're more into YouTube than you are into the other socials, you can get the Morning Minute there. I will be posting it daily, usually up by between 10 and 10:30 Eastern. I try to get it up sooner than that, but I kind of like to sleep in.
We all like to sleep in.
Podcast Name Deferred will be back next week. You'll catch you'll catch Ando, Dan, and I Monday on the Sports Report podcast. And we're a part of the Wire to Wire Sports Network. We're here. Wire to Wire Sports has shows every morning and evening, hosted by individuals that want to share their experience and their opinions with you, and would love to interact with you as well. So
don't forget to love.
Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow the Wire to Wire Sports Network. And yeah, we love them. We appreciate them allowing us to be a part of their network. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Deuces.